Department of Ag. It just goes through kind of an overview of the program we run.
Annual thing you do there.
Yeah, same thing every year. Due in June. Three signature. Approval and three signature.
I move we approve this.
Am I second it?
Moved to second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Maintain a good, healthy body and mind.
Well,
That's a little question.
Wow.
This right after common weeds.
common with it.
Wow.
I've actually tried to run here the last month. Well, we have the law enforcement run Thursday.
Oh, you running that?
Yeah.
Really?
Today's date.
That's a long ways, Dutch.
That is a long ways to Hutch. Good thing we have some people that are actually in shape to do it. I just kind of go along for the ride.
I had you figured to be a little smarter than that.
Yeah, a lot of people have that, but I always screw that up.
How many you have running?
I think he's got 12 runners, so it's not too bad. So last year I ran just total like 4.5 miles, while there's others that run up to 15. So, and we got home last night. Stuff started, didn't unpack. Just carried all the bags down the basement.
We went over the Christian church last night for a little bit.
There you are. You copied that.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
We have too much else on. First, you gentlemen have anything you want to add? Okay, we'll recess.
Never give me a day off.
Morning.
Hi, I just came to report on what I've been calling the month from hell. We did our sports physicals on the 7th, I think, did 185. And then the next week, we had health fair, which was not as successful as I hoped. We did about 134 at St. John. And if the numbers are right from Stafford, there's only like 280 total.
How much normally is it?
Some years as much as 400.
That's what I thought, man. Seems like that many people standing out in front of the line.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we had our WIC, what they call a management evaluation. That was last week. And I brought in the list of what they said we had to correct. One is I didn't have a smoking sign. No smoking.
No.
I used to have one on the front window, one of those little NPC ones, and it cracked and fell off, and I never put another one in. I have one up now. One of the forms we hand out, we didn't have the fair hearing thing, you know, about we don't discriminate on race, creed, color, religion, nationality. That's corrected. In our training file, we used to keep everything in one file, and now they want WIC training in one file, and the rest of it. We're supposed to lock up our check stock because we print checks there for WIC, and it is in a lockable room, but we're not very good about locking it. So I guess we'll start doing it. And then we have to do time studies quarterly or monthly, so I'm just going to do monthly so I don't forget them. On the first certification for WIC, even if I know who you are, I have to ask for identification.
Oh, yeah.
Document that. And let's see, I have to get vendor forms re-signed because they changed formula companies, and I didn't have it re-signed, so I'm there now. And then we're supposed to offer a blank copy of these rights and responsibilities for WIC. It's kind of like HIPAA.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to get one so they have a copy. And if they refuse it, this is something we did on our own. If they refuse it, we're going to have them initialed by them. That way if they come in and say, well, I never got that. And so, yeah, you did, because on this date we offered you one, you said you didn't. And then on the breast pumps, on the manual breast pumps, we don't ever get them back, and we don't want them back, but you still have to document who they went to. That's it.
Not too bad.
No. Could have been worse. I thought we did all right. It's kind of little
So on
nitpicky stuff.
the vendors, is the vendor the infant formula?
Yeah. Yeah. they have to sign a minimum stock exemption, like little stores like Dillon's and Paul's, so they don't have to keep the minimum stock on hand, so instead of, and they only do similar. I didn't even think about that. Anyway, that's our month, it's about over.
Got the big month done, huh?
Pretty much.
Demand for tetanus vaccine shots now?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Why?
Well, it was just because of all the
We
storm
gave 1,000
debris.
of them last year. We gave 400
Every year,
10 years.
10 year, even for injury, I mean, if they have an
If
injury?
it's an injury, it's like 5.
No,
I
okay.
think I got one last year, I think that's it.
Did you?
We got the comfort thing or something.
No, I don't know, we were giving them free after the tornado last year.
Yeah. I thought there was something.
So that was a good time to
I had
get
that one.
updated if you're gonna get
I haven't had one
updated.
in 20 years probably, so everybody.
Well, if you haven't had one, I'll give you one.
I got
I'll check on it.
I think I got one last year,
I
or
think
2
you
years.
did, yeah.
2 years.
I was out there and I thought.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
That's her.
No, it doesn't.
It does me, I.
Well, not as much
Very
as
good.
lockjaw does.
No,
It
no.
burns a little while altogether.
Mine runs for about 10 days.
Mine didn't
I have
have that hurt.
sensitivity or something.
But it's
to it.
alum precipitated, isn't it?
I don't know, it doesn't matter, it just hurts my cat. As far as I'm concerned. So I'm not a very good one. to
You gotta
do.
scare everybody to death, huh?
I do, I tell them, this is gonna hurt for 10 days.
They, go get 10 pounds of ice and put it on.
Yeah.
The first time that I ever had one was, we lived out north of Maxwell, I had to have my leg sacrificed.
After you got the tetanus shot?
Well,
Okay.
my leg started, a line started up my leg.
Ah, that's not a good sign. So other than that, I guess we've just been doing our own stuff. I really don't think we did very badly at all on our WIC county. At least they're not coming back. I think they made a return visit to Rice County, so I think that's a good sign. Any questions for me? All right then, thank you very
Just
much.
keep them healthy.
I'm trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Anything else right now?
Yep.
Recess,
I'm Randy Anderson.
please.
I'm Randy Anderson, Central
Please
Kansas
do.
Surveying.
Yeah, Blake Grimmett.
Nice to meet you.
J.D. Hager.
Nice to meet you. I know Nina.
Yeah.
The reason I'm here, there's some information I have for you guys, is I have a client that's getting ready to put up several miles of fences along Stafford County roads. And Nita is aware of a lot of these problems that I'm going to bring up, believe me, having worked in the road department. The old road record books for Stafford County will show road widths that they'll vary anywhere from 40 to 50 to 60. I've been working in Stafford County since 1982, and every time something like this comes up, you go to the old record book, you see what it says, then you get with the township and see what they suggest, then they get with the landowners and see if it's okay with what they do. In other words, there's no real strict policy. And this is quite an issue that I'm talking about here.
Is this unique to this county or
Not really.
not really?
This is the only county where it isn't really cut and dry. I have met with township boards pertaining to this, and I've never had a township board that hasn't stated that they would really like to go with an act of legislature that, I have the information right here, I even have the act, I didn't bring that, but I have the information, that stated that all roads, they ordered that all roads will be 60 feet in Stafford County, 60 foot wide. In other words, from a section line, 30 feet each way. Now that was an act of legislature, and then it was adopted by the county commissioners of Stafford County. And that is right there in yellow. For you guys.
1887?
Mm-hmm. This is all for it.
So,
And that page there that you see actually came from a commissioner's journal out of the clerk's office. That page that you're looking at right there.
so far, do we have a problem with
It doesn't require a general election or anything, the commission just designate what the road widths?
This was back when the county was formed.
Oh, this one's formed, oh, okay, this is back in the formation of the county, oh, okay.
They decreed that, right?
I believe Nita's right on that.
Okay, that's what it was informed
this? My
of.
question is then why is there a problem?
The problem is, a lot of roads, after that, let me go back one thing. There are counties where this was available to every county in the state, these session laws. Rice County is another county that I practice in quite often. They just flat adopted it, and everything has went real smooth there. I mean, no matter what happens, it's either a 60-foot road in Rice County, or if it's like an FAS road, which is a paved road, it's larger. But there's nothing in Rice County less than 60 feet. And that's just the way it is. But that didn't seem to make it here. And believe me, there are still counties that go by the old road books. Edwards, for instance. Pawnee goes by that. Pawnee's all 60, unless it's larger. So, why you were asking me why it's a problem is because a lot of the roads in Stafford County, even though you had that, they're still staked out at like 40s. You know, in other words, 20 foot each way, and I think you guys probably all know that you can't, there's a lot of combines you can't even get down a 40-foot road. The townships are really, have always been in favor of that.
This here 60 foot?
Right, but when they would go to grade, some of the problems that I find with the townships is when they would go to maintain or grade a road, and these farmers have their fences, are farming in to like a 40-foot road, and then there's a lot of trouble. So that's why the townships almost go to them and say, is it okay if we go to a 60-foot road? And I just did one north of Seward, and the landowner got real upset, and so they said, okay, we'll just go back to the old road record, which was 40. So that's where the problems come in. The problems come in is where there is already a fence line and it's at like 20. And the reason that's a problem is because there are quite a few instances like that. So now this client of mine, one of the reasons I'm here is he has actually been in a court case in Stafford County over these roads. And so he would just like to see it. He doesn't, he really isn't looking for you guys to take his road and say, okay, these are the roads you're going to be along. We'll do it this, and this. He just thinks, and I agree with him, and I think the townships would agree that see something done. Nita, I think you've experienced a lot of this, you know, when you were at the road department.
What are you suggesting?
If I were to suggest something, being I work with townships almost weekly in different areas, I would suggest going with what the commissioners already ordered right there, 60.
If they do go with the 60 foot and some guy has his permanent fence at 40 foot, is he gonna have to move it?
Well, I don't know what you guys would order or how you would do anything, but that could also be stated in a way that if the township ever does anything, then you're going to be asked to move that fence out.
If the township decides to widen that.
Yeah, to
road.
widen it or grade it or improve it.
Yeah.
I would say if the township ever decides to improve that road, it's going to be to 60 feet. I think it would be a big mistake to
Well,
just all of a sudden right now start
that's what I
ordering everybody to
wondered.
get their fences moved
If
down.
they would kind of be sort of grandfathered in, is they're okay for now, or if they would have to.
I wouldn't grandfather it to where it's gonna stay where it is right
Yeah.
now. I would just say if it's, you know,
If there's some work to be done,
yes.
Right.
then it would have to move their fence.
So you're saying, even though it was designated 60 foot, some townships opted to go 40 foot on some of the roads, or?
To be quite honest with you,
It looks like it says 60 foot, they also
Let me-
been 60 foot.
let me show you another thing here, where there have been so many problems in Stafford County. This is what Jim Soden and the road department even has tried to, if you would just read that, let's go to this one right here. That's
Oh, sure.
reference to the same thing you were looking at. This is what the county has tried to do to make people happy in the past. Guess I should have brought one of those for you, Anita, but I think you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, I know that, you know, our county attorney has mentioned at the township meeting that roads migrate and, you know, when there's no fences and so on and so forth, that he pointed that out. And
I really don't know why, if when that came about, there was any road still stayed at like 40 or 50.
That's my question, why would it be?
I do
Because
not know. I
This
do
is
not
saying
know.
that declared what they all are, why did they have discretion to go ahead and do anything different?
I do not know.
That's what I don't understand.
But they were, there's a lot of,
I know there is,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there all my life, I know there is.
Right.
40 foot and 60
I
foot.
for the life of me don't
But
understand
if they
that.
had this, is what they declared them to
But
be.
what,
Okay, here's what I think. Here's what I think happened. I think a lot of people took that to mean if it wasn't already open or if there was no width given. For some reason, if you look at the old where they didn't even give a width. Road books, there's a lot of roads. That's a little frustrating also. So that's the only way I can think that might have happened, is that people thought maybe that 60 foot would make for just a new road. I mean, a road that had never been opened in the old books.
or maybe a paved road.
Well, but paved, these more around like that.
The paved roads usually had plans, and they, at that time, they took more, like usually 80 feet, 40 feet each way.
Well,
So I think a lot of people thought, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
that's right.
I think a lot of people thought that applied only where there was no road at that time.
Not to existing roads.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Whereas, and I guess it's how you would want to look at it. I mean, like I said, Rice County and Pawnee just immediately went to that. And what was good about that at that time is that there's no problems there. I mean, you know, it's just, they've always just said, we have 60-foot roads, whether it be a county road, a township road. But in Stafford County, it's always been, well, it might be 40, it might be 50.
Whatever we want.
That's right, that's right. And a lot of cases, it was left up to the landowners. So you know what they're gonna say, we wanna farm out to the ditch or the edge of the road, so.
They have pictures. So we would need to
I'm gonna
know.
let Joe, has he looked
You're
at
gonna
this
have to
yet?
talk to she.
Yeah, that's
This
what I-
first I knew.
I like to have him look at this, our county attorneys, let him look at it before we do anything.
And I would be glad to meet with him if you guys suggest that.
He might want that.
I'd be glad to.
I think it'd be a good idea.
But I can tell you, it's been a problem since I started my surveying company in 1982, but it's been a problem way before that. And there's been court cases in Stafford County over this issue right here.
Long time ago, I worked with the county, worked on survey department, so I know that, and the conflicts you have out there, just taking the road for them to build, whether it's 40, 60 foot, and you're right, it's what it says on the plat, what that road is. So I think that's our next step, probably, that I would suggest.
Yep. Yep, that's so too.
But like I said, I think, in my opinion, do you think a lot of the county residents would be upset if you move to all roads being 60 feet, but you know, fences will stay where they are until something is done? You know, I mean, in other words, you don't have to move your fence now, but at a later date, if the township improves that road,
You got,
yeah, it's going to be moved. But then they're going to say, okay, well, we want the county to pay us to move it. So be aware of that. They're going to say that.
So you're saying there's already roads in existence for this 1887, that already have roads designated 40 foot before this thing?
You know, I would have to look. I think there may be, but I really think that there was roads after that.
That's what I'm thinking after that.
I think there was roads after that was designated,
This is
and
what
that
they
could
should
be
follow.
another part of the problem. I think I could go look at that. I think you can find roads that were open after that date that were still open at 40. So,
Yeah, so
this was by the election of the township board, or?
no, the townships, I think the road record was an independent thing over township. I don't think townships ever decided 40, 50, whatever.
Really?
I don't believe so.
well, it does show a problem.
Yes, it does.
But I think that we'll let him see what he suggests. How to handle it.
I don't think mine's 60-foot wide. I would have to drive up my yard to miss the mailbox.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of them aren't. But even if you think of farming equipment and from the future, from this day on,
Yeah, yeah.
40 isn't, you can't do anything. You can't even make a roadway really in 40 feet, if you think about it.
No, not really.
I mean,
And have two
You're gonna have
vehicles
16 to
pass
20
them.
foot of just surface,
Right.
you know?
Be off the ditch on both sides, just couldn't we pass somebody, are they?
Right.
The ditch alongside. I guess you want us to go
Well, my
ahead.
thought is, now what about power lines? You know, if, say for example, on my road,
Mhm.
power lines go on the west side of the road. And they're right along the edge of the ditch.
Right.
Were they in compliance way back when the REA put in power poles?
Over the last probably 2 or 3 years, it's probably the first that I've seen power, like Midwest Energy is now getting all their lines actually staked. Believe it or not, I think in the past, they just went out and put it where they.
I think it's been some issue in the county, even over the width of, where they set the
Right.
poles and the roads.
But I can tell you this, I don't think you'd have a lot of problems with the power companies moving their lines back. If you said this is a 60-foot road we're moving, and I think they would do that. But you're right, yeah, you will have a lot of power companies that are out on the county. But they try to stay out on the county anyway. You know, they don't want to buy private right away. So they will try and get as close as they can for that purpose. Believe me. I mean, when we stake right of ways now for Midwest Energy or Wheatland or whoever, it's so they can come in on the county. And I don't even know if they get permission from the county.
Well,
Do you
the
need
same-
it, do they? I don't
well,
think
the
they
same-
do.
Well, the same thing is, the telephone company.
Telephone.
They'll go right down in the ditch, you know, to the outside of the power poles.
A lot of the telephone companies are right down the middle of the road. I mean, right in the road.
Middle of
So,
the road?
Yeah,
right,
I've seen them,
Right.
there's places that, I've seen flags that cross the road.
yeah, they'll go right along the edge of it also. All the utilities are trying to stay on the county, simple as that.
With the by right of way.
That's right, that's right.
I never even thought about
I would think that they would have to get permission from the county.
The telephone companies do the right of ways that we do for that, but.
We do that in all lines and
The
such as
oil,
that.
water, saltwater lines, stuff like that. With the power poles, I don't think.
I just hope that this has been an issue in Stafford County for a long time. I know it has been since 1982. I just hope we can, when you go through the county attorney, I hope we can come up with something other than him saying, well, tell us where he's going to put these fences along what roads, and we'll make a decision on that. But
that. No, I think we need to make it the county-wide.
I hope you do. I
Countywide,
think that'd solve a lot of problems in the future. I think Nita would agree to that.
But then, like I said, the ones that don't have any plans, they leave their fences where they are without having to.
Right.
People have to
I
leave their
think
fences.
that's.
Right.
Until it comes up necessary. and
That's
then
right,
it involves
that's
them.
right.
The systems will probably have to do that.
And the county attorney could put that in this.
Resolution.
Yeah, resolution, that's right, that's right.
Okay.
Well, if you have him get a hold of the township boards, they'll be real excited about this 60-foot thing. I can tell you, because I've worked with almost all of them. And I'll tell you again what happens is I go to them and I'll say, it says 40, you've got the active legislature and the commissioners at one time stating that they went with 60. So they said, well, we'd like to have that 60, and they'll go back to the landowner and see what he says, and if he gets upset, and they just deal with it. Because they really don't have anything to stand on, you know, there's no.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, gee, thanks very
Yeah,
much.
Joyous information, right?
I knew you would be real excited once I started talking. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So, will I get something from somebody?
His name's. I'll have him. Joe Sheepak. I'll have him call you, get hold of you. He's gonna want to talk to you.
That'd be fine. Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Anything else? Everything else this morning?
No, this is enough.
You done?
I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'm so moved.
We are adjourned.